What up? This is Rama Screen, and it's time for another celeb interview. And in the anticipation of Team Marco, which arrives on demand and digital November 20th, I'm here talking with writer-director Julio Vincent Gambuto and one of the stars of this film, Anastasia Ganias. How are you doing today?
We're
Wonderful. It's a
great. We're having
beautiful
a fun
day.
day.
Excellent. Thank you for taking the time. Congratulations on the film. Let me start with you, Julio. I got to be honest, prior to this movie, I was not familiar with the game of bocce ball. Even after having watched this film, I still don't fully understand how to play the game. So, of all the sports, of all the games that you can feature in your movie, why bocce? And for my fans at home, can you briefly explain how the game works?
Sure. Great question. Thank you. Well, I wanted to make a movie about a sport that I played with my grandparents growing up, but playing cards is not very cinematic. So I played a lot of cards with my grandmother, but I also played some bocce, and I think bocce is a really, really popular sport in my hometown, which is Staten Island in New York City, which is where the movie's set. So it was very special to me. The movie's also based on my own nephew, Marco, and he has a grandfather who plays bocce religiously. So I wanted to make sure that we portrayed his love of the sport as well. Bocce is really fun. You play on two teams, you split the teams across the court, and you throw out what's called the palina, which is this little white ball. You throw it out onto the sand court, and then you have to get as close to the ball as possible with your own ball. So the red team throws, the green team throws, but you can always be knocking each other out, because the way that the points are tabulated is when all the balls are thrown, whoever is closest to the white ball without being near another or the opponent's ball gets the point. So it can change up to the very last second and the last throw. And the target also moves. So, any one throw can push that palina around the sandlot. So it's a really fun game. And there's strangely a lot of drama in it when it comes down to it.
Thank you for sharing that. Anastasia, your character Anna is a mom who practically raises Marco on her own. She's dedicated, but she's also a busy healthcare provider or nurse, if I'm not mistaken. So what was your process in embodying Anna? And did you have to shadow an actual healthcare provider to help you prep for this role?
I didn't. I had the great blessing of growing up with a doctor in my home. My father was an ophthalmologist. And so I think I really got a lot of beautiful knowledge around what it was like to live with somebody that was constantly in a hospital, constantly carrying around a beeper, and that kind of a life. But I think for Anna, she's at this place where she's lost a lot of that fear, because the fear of like what could happen to this perfect world. It's already kind of been shattered. She's lost her mother. She's going through a divorce and she's moving back home. And I think a lot of the time when we step into our fear is when we realize our greatness and our power. And so I think her story is really quite beautiful. I think she gets to step into this new life, and this new life of happiness. And we're kind of watching her get there slowly. We see her in the beginning really falling apart. And by the end, we see a happy version of Anna. We see a hopeful version of Anna.
Hmm. And Julio, I remember I ran the New York City Marathon in 2013. We started off in Staten Island. That's where the starting line is.
Yeah.
Beautiful neighborhood, lovely place. I would love to go back there someday. So somebody describes this film as the Sandlot meets Cinema Paradiso. Is that a fair description of Team Marco?
It's a good description. I like that. I think, I definitely wanted it to feel and have the joy of the Sandlot, to have the young characters who join Marco's bocce team to be as fun and sort of as playful and joyful as the characters in the Sandlot. And Cinema Paradiso is a favorite of mine. It is one that I saw, immediately fell in love with, and have watched many, many, many times. So I love those two films. So yeah, I think the movie is a really great combo of the two of them. We shot my own little version of an Italian village on Staten Island. That's my hometown. That's sort of where my heart is. So I was proud and happy to shoot the movie there. So as much as we could get that Cinema Paradiso feel, I tried to at least point us toward that with whatever resources I had to do that. So that's a pretty good description. I'll take it.
Thank you. Anastasia, your character Anna experiences what every parent these days experience. They face their fiercest rival, which is electronics, iPads, two things that children are obsessed with these days. So can you talk to me about working with Owen to create that mom and son dynamic with the iPad getting in the way?
Well, I have younger children than Owen, so I haven't really run into that problem myself. But I think it's more of a battle my husband and I have with being that example towards the children. I think, Owen and I spent a lot of time in the beginning kind of getting to know each other, and there was chemistry immediately. He is a very vibrant, talented actor and human. He's just all around pretty phenomenal. We had fun. How did we step into it? We had fun. We explored. There was room for improvisation. There was room for rehearsal, and we never forgot to have fun. And I keep saying that because I think it's important when you're running lines a lot and you're working in the heat and there's all these external variables, you can really start to lose a sense of that fun. And we never lost it. We kept going, and Julio allowed us the beautiful freedom of play, an actor's favorite thing.
Excellent. And finally, Julio, theme-wise, what do you hope the audiences would take away from the film Team Marco?
I hope that people take away, the message we intended, which was that technology is not going anywhere. I don't think there's going to come a time soon where we're not on our phones and on our laptops and on our screens. But I wanted to communicate that there's a lot of love in the world and a lot of play in the world and a lot of culture and games and traditions that are hundreds and thousands of years old that I don't think we should drop. I don't think we should forget about them. I don't think we should overlook them. I think we have to be active in how we carry them down to the next generation. It only takes one generation to forget something and then it's gone forever. So it's important to me, at least in how I interact with my nieces and nephews and my future children, that I take all the things I loved about my childhood and share them with them so that they at least have the opportunity to explore them and experience them and decide if they want to take those forward. So, the movie's not meant to demonize technology. I'm sitting here with my phone, right? We're on a laptop, and that's not going anywhere. But I think next to that, and sometimes on top of it or along with it, we have to always remember where we came from, how we got here, and the beautiful traditions that I think we can all carry forward.
All right, for my fans at home, everybody go check out Team Marco on demand and digital November 20th. Anastasia and Julio, thank you for talking to me and congratulations.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Rama.
Rama.